harder to tell your mother-in-law or your brother or whoever to F off. You know what I mean? Like,
I am on board with you for the record, obviously.
I was like, please try a devil's advocate moment here. Like, please.
Are we having role reversal today?
Yes.
I love it.
Like, there's no situation and when that's okay.
Yes, I'm on board with you 100%. But my question is,
You know, it's like double-sided though, because you could be like, well, I can see how they don't want the liability and they don't want this or that. But it's like, sometimes we have to try just a little bit harder for people. Like sometimes we have to attempt to work with them. Welcome back to EpiPod. Danielle's had anaphylactic food allergies her entire life.
and Sarah is a food allergy mom to 2 kiddos.
Managing this invisible health condition can feel so isolating.
Do you also feel like you have a degree in overthinking?
If you're nodding your head like me, then you're in good company.
Let's get you off that allergy island right now with people who get it.
Ready to dive in? Hey, Danielle.
Hi, Sarah.
Today, we are going to kind of go back to our roots a little bit. In the beginning of season 1, we would have question and answers in our podcast regularly. And what we found is that we would start answering these questions and have so much to say about it because they're so nuanced.
Totally.
I mean, as is everything with allergies.
Honestly, I would just get so fired up that it was just like, I would get on my soapbox and couldn't stop soaping the box.
Yes. And so we were like, you know what we need to do? We need to bring that back and we need to have an entire episode where we are answering questions, but also just like giving our take on these sticky situations.
Yeah.
Especially we're finding a lot of them that have come through our DMs are about relatives and family. And I mean, that's always stickiest because it's a lot harder to tell your mother-in-law or your brother or whoever to F off. You know what I mean? Like you can, but it's just not as easy. It's not as cozy and comfy as telling like the stranger on the internet who was an asshole, you know?
Also, a stranger on the internet, you can create, they were just in their basement in some,
Yes.
in the middle of nowhere. Like they're just a troll. But when it's somebody who knows how to push your buttons.
Or that you would just expect that you love me more, you care more, you understand me more. Like you expect more from them. And when they don't give that to you, it's disappointing and disheartening on a different level.
Yes. 10x the hurtfulness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should we dive right in?
I think we should, because again, I think there's one right on our list that we can dive right into that sort of family dynamic.
Okay. Here comes number 1. My mother-in-law refuses to feed my child. I guess out of fear. She is so quick to tell us to bring his own food rather than ask for safe options or attempt to learn.
I have a couple thoughts on this straight away.
Okay.
So one, I get the frustration, right? Like you want your family member to learn and to be a resource and to be able to help you and be like that village that we all need and want. And I think that I would do my best in this situation to try to see the positive here. Because I think we find, and I hear a lot from people that they almost wish the opposite. Like they're, or not even wish the opposite. They have the opposite situation, I should say, and they wish for this. Like there are people whose parents want to help, but they're either not doing it all the way or they don't feel comfortable accepting the help, somebody fixing their meal for their child. So, I mean, I get that it's frustrating that they won't help you out and try to learn and adjust for you. But the positive there is that you don't have the sticky situation where they try and they fail, or they try but not hard enough. And then you have to have that conversation. Like maybe sometimes it's simpler to just bring your own stuff.
Yeah. For what I hear is, without invalidating this question whatsoever, because I'm sure this person is tired and is like, please, like somebody like throw me a life raft.
Yes. And again, your family. So like you, of all people, you should be able to throw that life raft.
And I totally hear that. But what I hear above that is this mother-in-law is taking this so seriously. Like she hears the life-threatening. She hears this is extremely dangerous. She hears like this is like life and death.
Yeah.
So like if I were somebody who maybe is from an older generation where you didn't grow up in a school where, you know, you had two classmates. One has an egg allergy, the other one has a peanut allergy. Like this is totally out of the norm. Maybe for an older generation, you know, I try and put myself in their shoes as much as I'm like, can't you see what I go through? It's like, well, they genuinely have never been around this. They didn't grow up. It's almost like with technology, how like kids today are born with an iPad in their hand.
Yes.
So like you tell a toddler almost like, here, can you text daddy? And like, they might be able to figure it out. Like Siri, text dad, you know, but you ask, you know, your 80-year-old grandpa and they're just like, how do you turn this thing on? Like where are the buttons?
They're like pecking like one at a time. It takes them 5 minutes to type a sentence.
Yes, there's one button and it just turned it off, you know? So like I look at it from that perspective of this genuinely to a parent who lives and breathes this, or maybe someone younger, my age and generations below me even, you're used to it because you had a friend or everybody knows everybody or somebody's best friend's kid and they come over for a play date, but this might be her only experience with it. Yeah. And I can imagine her being like, I would never forgive myself if it was my fault.
Here, let me play a little devil's advocate because we're saying the same thing, but I also am thinking to myself, well, okay, maybe this person's mother-in-law isn't coming from that place.
Okay.
There might be a situation here where they just are annoyed about the allergies in general and don't want to be bothered by it to fix something special or do something like that. I mean, I don't know that. We don't know this family. We know nothing about them. So we don't know. But if that's the case, I can see how that would be hurtful for sure, that they don't kind of take it almost the opposite. Like they don't take it seriously enough and they think it's kind of like, whatever, she's just being dramatic. And so they don't want to take part in this. That would hurt my feelings.
Totally.
I also think that you could kind of say the same about a restaurant, right? Like, so you know how sometimes you go into a restaurant and they're like, we don't even want to serve you. Yeah. Get out of here.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, actually you do know that it's, first of all, it seems like you're discriminating against me because there are simple things that you could be doing to help me have a safe meal here. You know, it's like double-sided though, because you could be like, well, I can see how they don't want the liability and they don't want this or that. But it's like, sometimes we have to try just a little bit harder for people. Like sometimes we have to attempt to work with them. And I mean, something I think that this mother-in-law could do is tell her daughter or daughter-in-law how she feels. Like, what is it? Which place is she coming from? Is she coming from the fear? Like, I don't know anybody with an allergy. This is new to me. I'm scared. Or is it I don't want to be bothered by it, or I don't really like believe in this anyway. I'm not going to take part in this. And I think a conversation, I know it's awkward, but like a conversation could be had that sorts that out. And then this person could get to the solution from there.
Yeah. I think to sort of like tie it in a bow, no matter which side they're coming, which side is the reality here, we don't have the context to know. But either way, I can see how annoying it would be if someone's like, and don't forget your food. It's like someone being like, and don't forget to, you know, wear shoes to the hike. It's like, hello. Right. I would just like keep it simple for yourself. And no matter which perspective, it's thanks so much for the reminder. Like, yep, we will always bring our own food for him or her. If you want to have snack, like packaged is one way that it could be safe. Like here's 3 things that he loves that they're super great at that brand. Like they're manufacturing super safe, no pressure. But if you see them at the store and you want to have snacks that are safe around, like these are go-tos that they have at school too or whatever, but no pressure. Like we'll always bring his own. And that way, like maybe it's a slow acceptance if they're just like, they're being dramatic, I don't want to be a part of this. Or they're fearful, a slow learning of like, this is how you read a package. This is a brand, you know, that they trust, and opens a conversation. So like, why do you trust that one? Oh, let me show you the box. It says right here, manufactured in a facility that doesn't XYZ.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That's such a good idea.
So just
baby
like
step.
Whatever is the lowest lift, no matter what the intention is behind it, is like, hey, I'll always do that. Thanks for the reminder, wink.
Yeah.
Also, like if you want, ding dong dong, Ding dong ditch. Hello.
Yeah. Yeah. And similarly, you could provide, I've done this for schools and stuff, like give schools a list of, hey, here are the safe snacks. And maybe like it's that too, you know, once they are okay picking up a few safe things from the store, maybe you even give them a few safe brands of like, these are the noodles that we buy, sending it in a text or like a little spreadsheet and be like, if you ever do want to grab something for him that's safe, like just here's a quick resource for you to look at. Just something to offer them, even though you want to be thrown the life raft because you need the help. It's like sometimes we need to like throw it at them first so that it's like they feel like it's like this mutual conversation.
Or even like if they live far away, like if it's something that you're getting off of like Amazon or Thrive Market, just be like, hey, I'm going to be sending these to your house like ahead of time.
Oh,
I order off of Thrive Market. Like here's like a screenshot of the cart being like, here are the 3 brands that we really love. He'll always eat these. I'm going to have them delivered to your house. And then you can see next time, like, hey, I remember those 3, like we had leftover and I already bought them. Like just give them the opportunity to change and learn and feel more comfortable or get over themselves, whichever it is.
I love that. Okay, great. Okay. What's our next question?
Our next one is kind of the like flip side of this.
Okay.
Hi, I have family that makes food that does not contain any of the allergens. It's so nice, but still not comfortable eating it.
You're right. That is totally the flip side.
Yeah. I encountered that this weekend.
You did? Okay. Yeah. Well, so how did you handle it?
So I attended a birthday party and my friend knows, like, I just don't feel comfortable eating something that somebody else made.
Okay.
And they were making like all homemade things.
Right.
And so she was like, she knows my safe restaurants. She's like, I'm going to have my brother go pick up your safe meal from your safe restaurant. And I was just like, that's so nice. Like, thank you so much for offering. Like, I'm going to eat ahead of time. And she's like, no, like I will feel so uncomfortable what if you get hungry though? Like that way I just in case, even if you get hungry. And she approached it so beautifully, like trying to care for me, going to my safe restaurant that I eat at all the time, like no pressure, just in case you get hungry. I know you're going to eat ahead of time, but like, unless I'm the one making it or I'm the one talking directly to the server, like I still have a really hard time. And like the ticket said like nut allergy. I wanted to like call the restaurant just to like make sure there were no like seasonal items, like something new was going to the fryer that I might not know about. Like it was just still so awkward and hard because you feel so much pressure. Like this person has gone the extra mile on their birthday.
Yeah, they literally spent their own money and time and energy. Yeah.
And like that is, I would say, like the best of all worlds. Like somebody who's known you a million years, like this is your safe restaurant. The ticket even says nut allergy. You can call the restaurant and just like confirm. So it was like,
did you eat it?
Yeah, I mean much later.
Okay.
But it was just like, I was feeling so much pressure the whole time to eat it. Like I knew she was watching, like, is she going to eat it or not? Like I still didn't want to eat it in front of her.
Okay.
Because like, God forbid, then the whole party becomes about me.
Right. You have a reaction and all of a sudden it's like, oh, party's ruined. Danielle needs an EpiPen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, it's
things
so
people
hard.
don't think about. Like honestly, even me, like being fully involved in the allergy community and having 2 kids with severe allergies, I don't live it myself. And it's so, when you speak, I'm like, no, that makes complete sense. Like I would feel the same way, but like you don't think about that if you don't live that life. Like you just, your brain doesn't go there or think of those things. And so it's so not nice. I mean, that's the wrong word, but like, it's so eye-opening to hear you talk about it because it lets other people, everybody listening right now to understand like, okay, there's always a different side to every story that's going on. Like there's always a different reason or a different thought that's rolling through somebody else's mind that you might not quite understand because you don't live the life they live.
Totally. So I guess like at the end of the day, like we both did our best. Like we both did what we were comfortable with and like what we needed to do to feel good. Even though I told her like, thank you so much. That's so thoughtful. Please don't do that. She was like, I just want you to have something just in case you get hungry and you didn't tide yourself over enough. And she really wanted to do that as a host. So she did. And I said, thank you so much. I still want to call the restaurant. I still really don't want to eat it during your birthday party because what if like something does happen and then I take away from your day. So I did what I had to do and what I was comfortable with. And at the end of the day, like she was acting, it's like that, what's that story? The one about the comb and the hair. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay. Where like we both were acting out of thoughtfulness and love for the other.
Sure.
Like I was trying to keep myself safe so I didn't take the attention off of her birthday. She was trying to be the best host and because she didn't want me to be hungry.
Yeah.
That comb in the hair, it's like the like guy has like I think it's his daughter, like, and it's like a dad and a daughter and like he has this like pocket watch that doesn't have a chain and she has this like long, beautiful hair. And so he sells the watch to buy her a comb for her hair and she cuts off her hair and sells her hair to buy a chain for his watch.
Okay.
And so like they're both just like at the end like being like, oh, I did this for you. Yeah. You know?
So there's a Mickey Mouse story that's the same. And I know it's the same concept, but I don't know the one you're talking about, but I know the one where like Minnie and Mickey like go and somebody gets like buys the chain for her watch and then like a harmonica for him, a golden harmonica or something. So I don't know, a case for his harmonica, something like that.
Yeah.
But okay, so I think for this person whose mother-in-law is like really going out of their way and making something safe, I guess my thought or my advice to you might be, I wonder if, and maybe this isn't doable, but like, what if you go over before or like during the cooking process? You know, like say she's making spaghetti, whatever it is. Maybe you say like, hey, this is like super challenging for me because it, you know, without doing it myself, I just still have concerns about cross contact and, you know, whether or not labels have been checked completely thoroughly. Like it's hard. I miss stuff, you know, and I'm his mom and I still miss things. So I know and I trust you, but it's just a personal choice that I choose not to eat food that's not prepped by me or my husband. But would you mind if one time to kind of baby step into this process, like I go over and cook with you and kind of talk you through what would make me feel comfortable? Maybe this person doesn't want to do that at all. And then I think you just have to gently put down a boundary and that's okay. But I think if your desire is that you would like to get comfortable at some point, I think that might be a good baby step to be like, let me come cook the spaghetti with you and look at the labels with them and say, oh, this is how cross contact works. Like we need to double clean the pots with a fresh sponge.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Is I'm just like, as somebody who has the allergy, I am just, it makes me like have the biggest pit in my stomach to be like, I'm going to have to bring a fresh sponge. I'm going to have to look at their dog treats. I'm going to have, you know, like, cause their big dog is going to be jumping all over us. Like, what are they snacking on? I'm going to have to teach them like, oh, actually this is a wooden cutting board that may hold on to like oil. So I'm going to bring my own cutting board. It's just so much. So if they're the person with the allergy, I can see how it's just like, can I just bring my own food? Yeah. Something that this, you know, along that line of like, maybe it's a family member who like, it's the tradition of cooking a recipe together or whatever. Yeah. One of my very good friends here in Austin, she is an amazing cook and she knows I'm trying to like broaden my palate. And she's like, you could come over and we can cook. And I could just see her like wheels turning and she was like, or actually, I know that probably makes you feel uncomfortable. I'll come to you. We use all of your cutting board, your knives, your whatever, and we'll go to the grocery store together. We'll make a night of it so that like you can teach me how to read the labels and then we'll go back to your house and make it there.
That's great.
And I was like, thank you. Like it was so nice to see somebody like understand. It's not like the eating or the cooking or the ingredients. It's like the everything. At the end of the day, both of us just wanted to like cook together and enjoy a meal together. So like it was so cool to have somebody else be like, let's do it at your house.
Yeah. And we don't know logistics with these people, like maybe they don't live close enough to do that or something, but that is an awesome idea that even like, I would say, don't feel weird about suggesting that. Maybe be like, it's so tricky, like to get everything right. And I don't want you to be in a situation where something happens and you're feeling guilty about it. I love that you want to cook for us. I wonder if like I bring our food whenever we come to your house, but whenever you come to ours, like I'd love to share in cooking a meal, or you can use our kitchen and cook a meal. And we'd be happy to eat the food then, you know, like maybe that's a middle ground. I love that idea.
But like in short, I would feel very uncomfortable if somebody, and even when I go visit my parents to my hometown, like I still get really uncomfortable when other people cook for me because I know they're not reading every label every time.
Yeah.
And some people are like, it becomes really easy for them to pull out the dramatic card.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're going to wash that again, but we just washed the other pot. So you want to wash that pot too? Like, it can be a slippery slope. So you just do whatever is kindest. That's like at the end of the day, my mantra, like what feels kind? Finding one of these loopholes or just being like, I know you're trying to like love me and just want to make me food. Thank you. I really don't feel comfortable. Like, can I have a glass of your wine? Or like whatever it is.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think one more quick thing before we go on to the next question is we've talked about before how these like safety behaviors or like what is true about allergies and, anxiety. And I think it might also behoove you to talk to your allergist about what level of like cross contact risk is really necessary or, I guess risk of aversion. What's the word I'm looking for? Like what kind of calculated risk would be okay to take?
You're right. You're like speaking this. I need this advice because like my entire life I ate at my family's house. Right. Or like we would go to my older sister's house, my older half sister's house, and she would cook for me. No problems, no double washing.
Yeah. It was just like, is there peanuts in here? No, cool. We're good. Like no nuts. So like, great.
My whole life that was okay. Yeah. And then now I operate differently as the person who feels like, oh, I have no safety net. Like I live by myself. Yeah. It's so true. Like, so don't involve yourself in safety behaviors that aren't necessary.
So, I mean, and I'm not saying maybe it is necessary or maybe just for you, again, to be kind to yourself right now, you're not there yet mentally, but I would suggest a conversation with your doctor to say, hey, if my mother-in-law sends me every photo of every label that's going into this dish, if she is using a clean pot, meaning maybe not triple washed, but like a pot that has been cleaned and like didn't like boil peanuts in it yesterday, whatever. What is the kind of risk we're talking about with a reaction for my child and they know your child allergy wise best. And if they say, actually, it's like 0.0001% risk. And even then you have your epinephrine and all would be fine. Maybe that would give you a little bit of peace of mind to say, I'm going to inch a little closer to this idea of like opening up our world a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I'm not saying that's easy to do. I'm just saying that if you wish that you could do that, then I think it's worth having a conversation with your doctor to see how realistic safety-wise that it is.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Okay, Sarah.
Hit me.
I'm not going to read it directly. I'm going to read it like I want you to pretend like this happened to you.
Okay, love.
Okay, Sarah. Your sister-in-law served peanut butter sandwiches as the main snack at your nephew's birthday party. What would you do?
Is this real?
Oh no, this is a real question. I just rephrased it to like as if it happened to you. Is this real?
What? Like I'm kind of left a little bit speechless, to be honest with you. I think my first question would be, and this is probably a no duh, or else why would they be asking it? But like, does your sister know that your kid has a peanut allergy?
Does your sister-in-law hate you?
Is she an adult?
Is she an adult?
Is she an attempted murderer? Is she sane? Is she somebody you want to associate? Like, I just don't, I think that is so beyond anything that is reasonable. I think that it's one thing to say, hey, trump up to your kid's school and be like, the entire school has to be peanut free because my child has a peanut allergy. Like, okay, maybe they'll do that. But honestly, in my personal view, that's not reasonable necessarily. Mm-hmm. But for your sister to know you have a peanut allergy that is severe, and the main food that they serve at their kid's birthday party that your child's invited to, I mean, that's just blatant disrespect.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's anything, I don't think that there's any way to like justify. I don't even care if it's the kid's favorite sandwich.
Okay, here's my question. I am on board with you for the record, obviously.
I was like, please try a devil's advocate moment here. Like, please.
Are we having role reversal today?
Yes.
I love it.
But like, there's no situation and when that's okay.
Yes, I'm on board with you 100%. But my question is, all right, Graham's dairy allergy, just as bad as his peanut allergy pre-treatment, right?
Yeah.
You go to birthday parties that have pizza all the time.
Yeah. But not my sister's. And I guess maybe that's like my sister wouldn't do that. She would
Sister-in-law.
Okay. Well,
Still,
maybe this, I mean, still you shouldn't. Yeah. Oh man. I mean, you're right. I just think, okay, you and I talked about this. I'm like acting like the camera's not here. Okay. Backtrack. Blah, blah, blah. She sent me a text yesterday about peanuts on an air. That was my rewind voice. About peanuts on an airplane. Like how do they still serve these? And I was like, yeah, that's ridiculous. And I'm like, well, okay, but they still serve, first thing that went through my head was like, well, but they still serve dairy snacks. But the thing is it's so simple to remove nuts.
It was this, a girl who, they like overbooked her flight. So they put her on the next one and they put her in first class.
Yeah.
And so she was like, well, I guess it wasn't all bad. And it was a photo of like the first class, like in this little like porcelain dish, their warm nut mix.
And like a cocktail.
And a cocktail. Yeah. And I was so grossed out. I was just like, oh my God. My first thought was, I can never fly first class again.
Yeah, although they're probably been everywhere. But
totally.
But all of this to say, like, I initially was like, well, I mean, you know, why are they banning peanuts when they're not banning all the other allergens? But then I thought about it and I'm like, but see, it's just different. I'm sorry, it just is. And trust me, we have both. Yeah. In my opinion, like we have a peanut allergy and a dairy allergy, both extremely severe that I've managed all of Graham's life. And I do believe that they're different because peanuts are peanuts, tree nuts, whatever, are an easy thing to remove from anything. They are not a necessary thing. They literally tell you at the pediatrician's office to give your kid whole milk when they're 1 year old and they switch from breast milk. I mean, the guidance is you move to milk. It's a medical thing. I mean, now you could argue if that's necessary, you know, like some people would say that's not, and that's old like data, but I mean, that is what people do. Yeah. You know, cheese, it's a part of a nutritious, balanced diet in like most people.
Most recipes, especially things that get baked.
Yes.
Heat involved, it's probably going to have milk and it's probably going to have egg.
Right.
Like that's how things rise in this culture or whatever. That's yeast, but you know.
Totally. No. I mean, it's just, again, it's like, what is reasonable? Like it is not reasonable to think that the world is going to remove all its dairy and egg products from the shelves, your life, the airplane, wherever, school. But peanuts, tree nuts, it's a really simple cut them out.
Also pisses me off is like, it's a lot of, I mean, everything with kids is finger food, but like that photo of the warm nuts, like that passenger is eating with their hands, which is just disgusting to me. Who is going through an airport post-COVID eating with their hands? Not me,
all
but
children.
Also gross
My
out.
kids. Yeah.
I'm a germaphobe.
Yeah.
But like, I was just like, with your hands?
Yeah.
Whereas like, if you think of like a scrambled egg, it's like a fork or like a piece of cake. Or even a muffin, it has like a sleeve on it. I don't know.
There's not as much like, it's on your fingers now and then you're touching everything. And we all know everyone's not like wiping their hands after every time they grab a nut from the dish.
Is so gross to me.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
But anyways, okay.
So back to this, I mean, I would be so upset, and not even so upset as in like, you know, like screaming at them. I would be so just hurt and a little angry, and I would definitely not go.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, as a symbol of no, thank you. But also I wonder, could you talk to them before? Like, did you have a conversation before? 'Cause not to put this back on like, not a victim blame, but like not to put this back on the allergy mom, but in a lot of ways it's like, okay, maybe you did, but you have to kind of put the onus on yourself to reach out and ask like, hey, as a reminder, Joey has a severe anaphylactic, life-threatening peanut allergy. I wanted to double check what's on the menu. Like, did you ask before or did you just show up and that was the case? Either way, it's not okay. I'm not justifying. I'm just saying maybe had you thought to have the conversation before, if you didn't, maybe you did, but then maybe you could have said like, oh gosh, peanut butter and jelly, that is such a risk for us. Like he could be in serious danger being around that. Unfortunately, if that's what's going to stay on the menu, we're not going to be able to be there.
Yeah. I can't tell based off of how this was written, if it was like a food allergy mom or if it's an adult with food allergies.
Oh,
so
okay.
Like if it were me and I go to my sister-in-law's kid's birthday party and it was PB&J as the main thing on the menu, I wouldn't necessarily be like hurt because it's about the kid, not me. But I also would be like, hey, this is like a lot for me, honestly. Just like tell them how it is. Like this is a lot for me. My anxiety's through the roof and like I can be in the same room with it, but it is very uncomfortable. I don't even want to take any risk of like, you know, my nephew running up and giving me a hug. I gotta go. Love you guys.
Here's the gift.
Yes.
Yeah, have a great time.
And then afterwards, I would have, you know, not during the party, but maybe later that evening or the next morning be like, hey, I wouldn't even say I'm sorry I had to take off. Just be like, hey, I felt like I had to take off just for my own safety. Don't love being in that close quarters with that amount of peanut butter.
Yeah.
I hope you guys had a great rest of the party. Hope you liked his gift, whatever. Be nice. But then just be like, next time, can you give me a heads up if there's going to be like a ton of peanut stuff around because it is life-threatening and I would hate for an accident to take away from the day. Like,
yeah.
And just that way, she kind of knows, like, you didn't watch out for me.
Yeah.
Like, we're supposed to be family, even if we're in-laws. Like, family doesn't do things like that to each other.
So
but not even in a passive aggressive way.
Yeah.
I would just like lay it down, being like, hey, next time, would love if you gave me heads up.
I think I was totally thinking about it from, not that it makes it that much different, but I was definitely thinking about it from the kid perspective. And I think that's where the hurt comes from. Like for me, I'm like, I'm a grown up. I can handle this. Like they weren't thinking of me. It's not about me. It's about a little kid. I get that. But I was thinking of it from, if my kid was going to my nephew, so their cousin's birthday party, and you served that, knowing good and well that it's extremely dangerous for my child, I think the hurt stems from, yes, like not being seen, not being heard, and also the fact that it seems like they don't care about your child who you care about more than anything in the world. So it's a little different to me, but still the same amount of like, that's not cool, bro.
Yeah, and I think it's also like, as an adult, I can make the decision
for sure
to advocate for myself and to get out of there, whereas like a kid is just like...
And like you're bummed to leave the party, I'm sure, but like a kid who has to then leave the party or a kid who has to sit alone or whatever, like it's just, it's not okay.
It's definitely gonna like ruin my afternoon though. Like I'm gonna spend the next hour being like, am I good? Am I good? Like,
yeah. Or just, being like having feelings about it too.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, final one.
Last one, let's do it.
Okay. This is actually from a food allergy adult.
Okay.
Not wanting to eat during work dinners and therefore having all of the attention on me, crying emoji, monkey with covering his eyes emoji.
Okay, so are they crying because they can't eat the food, or are they crying because the attention's on them because they're not eating? Hold on, I'm confused.
Just like I experience this all the time. Like you're at like a work something. It's a professional setting, but as with everything in life is centered around food. Right. And so then everybody's conversation keeps going back to like, are you sure you don't want anything? Or you don't want a little taste? Like, I don't think this has nuts in it.
So what do you do to quickly move past or shut it down?
I don't even try to move past or shut it down. Like it is what it is. Like it sucks that I'm trying to do my job and network and make connections like everybody else and just like be a part of whatever this company culture is. But somehow it's connected back to food and back to my chronic illness. Like it sucks. So the first time I'm not, like I just call it out. Sally, we had an episode earlier. Go back if you haven't listened to Sally's episode. She handles this really beautifully. But I just call it what it is. Like, this sucks to myself. Like, I'm not even trying to like mind trick myself out of it. This blows. This is not fair. And then I just keep on trucking. Like, I order a really expensive glass of wine. If this is on the company's dollar,
heck yeah,
for the client's dollar,
give me that $30 glass.
Everybody else is getting the $75 prime rib.
Right.
I'm gonna have 2 glasses of that Pinot Noir.
Heck
95.
yes.
Just kidding. No, I will order what I can. Whether that is a glass of wine, whether that is a cup of hot tea, and like maybe something that is safe, like
like piece of bread or
like a lot of times salads are hard because like the salad bar is a mess, but like I'll ask them, do you have like fresh berries? Can you just like wash some fresh berry? Like, or like ice cream where I can see the label, whatever it is. Like, I'll either find a little something and a really nice glass of wine, or I'll just, the first time I'm patient and the second time I get a little spicy. No, like, it's actually really unsafe. Can we get, like, let's go back to talking about the deliverables. Yeah. And then they get it. And if they don't, you probably don't want to be working with them anyways.
Right. Read the room, bro.
Yeah. But it sucks.
Yeah.
It really does suck. And there's no way around that not still being true. Yeah. I've done this a million times. And I literally just 2 weeks ago was at a work lunch where it was the focal point. It was the opening to everybody's thing. Every time I interact with one of the brand managers, are you sure you don't want anything to eat? It sucks.
Yeah, that would suck. It's like the one thing you don't really want to even think about, talk about, be conversating about is the one thing that keeps being brought up to you over and over and over again. That would suck. Nothing else to say about that. I mean, and it's just the life you live, and it's like the cards you were dealt, and I'm just sorry that has to be what it is, but you do handle it so great. I mean, the way you can pivot to like asking a personal question about their lives, or, moving on to work. I think you have found a way to like socially maneuver and then keep your head above the water, and not everybody can do that as easily, but you're really, really good at it.
Thank you. Yeah. I think with like my line of work, because I'm like constantly recording, editing, putting things up, making conversation, like it kind of, I try and turn my weakness into a superpower. Yeah. Like, maybe the director of marketing wouldn't have come. There's 30 girls in the room. Maybe she wouldn't have come over to talk to just me if she hadn't seen I wasn't eating. So I try and look at it as like, well, now we're speaking. Now she knows my name. Like, now I have a little edge, and it may be an edge that sucks, but it's an edge nonetheless. Yeah. And like, if I'm constantly having to be like capturing content, talking, editing it, great. Less distraction time of like sitting down and actually eating, having my mouth full. Like, you know what you don't have when you're not eating? A full mouth. Like, I can talk while everybody else is eating. Yeah, such solid points. See, and it's not toxic positivity. It's just, it is what it is. And it's like just using what you do have to, make that your superpower, your strength. Or like what sets you apart. Yeah, at that event, like when the food came out, like I did find a little something to eat that was safe, and I was proud of myself for it. But like, I finished a lot earlier than everybody else, and like I was able to like hop up, get clips that other people weren't getting, talk to the brand in ways that other people weren't. Like, I made a really good lemonade out of the lemons. Perfect. Oh, cool! What this is fun. Yes, we should do this like quarterly or something. Yeah, I like it. So send your questions. If you have good questions, send them in. Email them to situations. epipodpodcast@gmail.com. You got it. Or DM us. We'll put up a question box every time we do one of these episodes. Yeah, that's a good idea. I love getting spicy, and also it's just like, it's nice to. There's not a lot you can do about your body being this way, but like talking about it with people who get it and just being like, it sucks, somehow makes me feel like we're productive. Totally. Like, that was productive. No, I was actually talking to a friend who, like, she's become a good friend, but she
listens to the podcast. And she was saying like, I'm like an avid listener. Like I'm, like I don't miss a week. She's like, it's so helpful to me. And I responded to her and I was like, well, I'm not always sure we're like helpful. Like we don't always have like doctor advice or like something like that.
We're not medical professionals.
Right.
Being like, if you do this amount of milliliters, you will feel this % better.
Exactly. And there are podcasts like that. And we're not one, but that's never what we set out to be. And I was like, at the end of the day, I told her this, I'm like, at the end of the day, if we give somebody just a different perspective on something, or like if you're listening right now and you're like, well, I didn't think about it that way, or I was thinking this, but she said this, and maybe I need to be a little more like that, like some sort of gauge for like what is going on solo in your brain, and you have somebody else to like spitball or like listen to that's thinking a certain way. Like when I have a question about allergies, I go to one of my other allergy mom friends and I'm like, what do you think about this? Am I way off base here? Like stuff like that. And so for people who don't have that, at least at the end of the day, that's what I hope that this kind of episode and just the podcast in general is for other people. Like just a place to feel not alone, and also to hear what is going on in other people's brains.
Yeah. There's so many times where I don't bring up like what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Because I know that the response is not going to be helpful. If anything, it's going to make it even worse, even if they're trying to help. That's why like with the like warm nuts in first class thing, I'm like, I'm going to text this to Sarah. Instead of just
Sorry, I blasted you on the podcast.
I love it. That's why we do it.
Yeah.
No, but I was like, if I like put this on my story.
Sure. Yeah.
Everybody's gonna be like, oh, or like, oh, I love those. Like, that sucks that you can't have them. Like, whatever they say, it's not going to be right. But I know if I text it to you, you're going to be like, it would be so easy for them to just not. And I'm like, thank you for saying what I was thinking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or, but alternatively, if I had been like, well, think of it, like, I hear you, but like, also like, maybe think of it this way. You would have been like, because I understand, right?
Yeah.
If somebody else telling you that wouldn't have been cool. But like, because you're like, well, she's like me. I mean, we both like deal with allergies all day, every day. And like, so
I'm maybe I don't listen to you.
Right. Maybe I don't fully agree with that, but like, it's nice to hear that other perspective. Cause people have told me, I have a friend who I go to and she's like my super honest friend and in the allergy space. And she will tell me like, well, here's my take. Or I don't think that I don't think you're wrong, but like, think of it this way too, and she's nice when she does it. Or like one time I was like, was this too much? I put something on my Instagram and I was kind of spicy. Yeah. And I was like, was this too much? And she was like, honestly, I kind of think it was a little too spicy.
Really?
Yeah. This was like a while ago, but I respected the hell out of it because I was like, I like her. She's my friend. Like I respect her opinion. And so I was like, yeah, I could see how I like maybe didn't think that way all the way through before I said it,
Oh my God, that's so funny.
But you need people like that in your life. And not that we're like telling people what to do, but like, again, that is what I hope this is like well, maybe I wasn't thinking that, but I can kind of see how she said that. And like, just make your brain massage a little bit more, because everybody's brain needs a massage.
What? I'm obsessed.
Like a little like
everybody's brain needs a massage.
I need a real massage.
I would imagine if you could just like unscrew the top of your head, take your brain out and be like, here, can you massage this?
Yes, that'd be great. Okay, we're on Hinge. We gotta go. Okay. All right. We'll see you guys next week.
Okay, see you next week.